right, so Javi, you have been helping us understand and implement that a go-to-market strategy isn't just one thing. It's not, hey, go build these landing pages, go send these emails, go and build these ads, but it is a strategy that's built on a foundation that's quantifiable, right? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Isaac, thank you again for this space to talk about it. Well, for us, as a group of people working with other clients, we have faced many different founders, many different companies with different approaches. So we just have identified like pillars that help us to, go through a process in where we can build something for the client without skipping any important parts. Like we were saying, every company has a different DNA. And after this five pillars questionnaire, we are more capable to build something for uh, each per each company. This is something that we have discussed, and the first pillar that is very important to understand is the audience. The
Yep.
audience, yes, is basically the person that you're trying to reach out. And if you don't have that clear, so you'll be selling like what? Nothing, because
So, for example, we talked to somebody earlier this week, and he said, I asked him, hey, what's your ICP? And he said, companies under 15 million. I'm like, that's not an ICP. That is like one filter. Give me a list of companies under $15 million. But that is one, it's an audience. How do you send an email to a decision maker? And we had somebody early on in this process. I released him over this, but we were trying to work with people that were agencies that supported HubSpot. And he built me a list of 15,000 people, and 8,000 of them worked at HubSpot. And the ICPs seemed to fit companies between 20 million and $70 million in revenue, 20 million or maybe 150 or whatever. The ICP fit, but the emails went to the wrong person.
it happens all the time. And sometimes you cannot identify the right ICP because the person that pays for it is not the person that is the final user. And that
That's right.
even that is very important to understand because the person that you're trying to reach is not the decision maker, or probably not the person that will be like, hey boss, I really need this SaaS, or I really need to develop something for your company. So
Yeah.
even that info is very important.
Yeah, and I had the same problem early on. We were trying to find who we should be selling to, and sales advisors and yourself were trying to get me to get very focused. And I was saying, but I can help anyone. And I did not want to limit my market and limit my opportunities. So I wanted to keep our ICP wide. And by doing that, I limited our market and our opportunities because I wasn't able to go. I have said this a million times, and I'll probably say it a million more times. The key to a sales strategy is saying the right thing to the right person at the right time with the right call to action. And it sounds annoyingly easy. Like, hey, just say the right thing to the right person at the right time. And give them the right invitation. But to get there requires a lot of groundwork. And most people, when they first come to us, they say, yeah, well, we want to sell to people who need this. They keep their audience very wide. And I don't mind having a wide audience, but I have to break that down. And I have to say, so for example, we had somebody who was providing security services to churches. So like, okay, so we could do this for churches, schools, and colleges. So in the email that they sent, they said, for a church, we do this. And for a school, we do this. And for a college, we do this. Like, wait a second, break it down. Send a specific message just to a church. Furthermore, the senior pastor who's on stage, the administrative pastor, and the youth pastor have very, very different views on security. So don't say the same thing to all three, and certainly don't say the same thing to three separate ICPs. And that requires a level of thinking that a lot of people just aren't familiar with.
Yeah, and I think that also people think that ICP is just like income,
Yeah.
like location, but it's more than that. It's even their motivations, frustrations. Where are they spend, or where do they spend their free time? What is actually the social media they use? What
Yep.
is the budget they have for a solution? Do they have a budget? Do they have someone that makes the decision for them? It's harder than just finding the like a title. So for us, it's understanding the client and understanding also the customer.
Yeah, and to boil it down to one of those another deceptively simple sayings, who could benefit from the solution that I'm offering and who is capable of making the decision to do
The
it?
decision, yeah.
Yeah, so
Sometimes, and when I studied, it was fun that they say like toys, for example.
yeah,
Who buys the toy? The mom, but who influence the market? The kids. So
yeah,
you build a whole campaign just for kids, not for moms.
right.
And
Yeah,
that's
and
exactly how it works.
yeah, and if I'm buying something for my child for a specific reason. So, like, we just bought this book to help our 4-year-old learn to do zippers and clasps and buttons and stuff like that. That's not a fun activity. It was because of a result um, of an assessment by her school. Hey, your 4-year-old doesn't know how to button buttons. Of course she doesn't. We don't buy clothes with buttons. But it's a life skill she needs. So, and this is very much about timing. If I go on Facebook, I'm not getting advertisements for maternity items. My wife isn't getting maternity clothes options anymore. Actually, one of the ways that I found out that Charlotte was on the way was because Lucy started getting maternity clothes stuff in her feed. Somehow, Facebook knew she was pregnant before we did. I don't know how that works, but I do know that timing is so
Yeah.
important because for me, I love big trucks and I just bought one and I'm not buying another one. So that timing matters so much. How do we identify the right time to approach a
Well,
customer?
it's simple. I think that timing is very simple. Like, is the market currently aware of the problem? Because if you're selling something that it's not out there, so timing is not that important. But if you're launching too early or too late, also something that we need to consider. For example, if it's summertime and you're selling things for winter, I
Yeah.
mean, you need to match the season. And do we need to educate the market first? Like if it's something very innovative, you have to make a process first, like to explain what you're going to do and why they need it. And also, is like I said, is the right season? The questions that you have to ask yourself, it is, do I need a return of investment really quick to continue investing on this? What factors are influencing the customer behavior right now? Is this something that I can launch later on? Or is this like something that comes with any season, like winter, summer? It is just a matter of a school is starting. Like, for example, the client that we had that he needed to do founding for the basketball teams and soccer players. That's for a very specific
Highly
time.
seasonal. Yeah.
You need to identify the characteristic of your services or products, and then you'll find the right timing.
Yeah, so for like recruiting firms, you can find people that have listed jobs in a field that you're familiar with posting or have had the same post open for X number of days. Or everybody does that. I get the moment our recruiting company posts, our recruiting department posts a position, I didn't even know that they did it. And people are calling me, hey, Isaac, saw you posted a position for this. I'm like, no, I didn't. I don't even know. I've got 70 people working for me. I don't know every time they open a junior development role.
That's also very important to mention. Capacity is very important. If you don't have capacity to go on high seasons, you better wait a moment because they don't come back to you. Like if you say, no, I don't have it right now, they will have that mindset like you're not as big as I need to solve my problem.
Yeah, that's really important. A lot of marketing departments and sales departments are utterly disconnected from operations. So they will go out and sell something that you can't deliver. Meanwhile, we did a project for a very large paper supply consumable products company they were back ordered on a lot of SKUs and then they had an abundance of other SKUs. So they were overstocked on many SKUs and understocked on others. Many of them could have been substituted, but nobody on the operations side of the business was keeping anybody on the sales side of the business up to speed. So sales was out there selling stuff. Operations didn't know to fulfill it.
Yeah.
operations was overwhelmed with other SKUs and sales wasn't aware. So some of these items of the overall go-to-market strategy, that's the reason why revenue operations includes people from the operations and fulfillment teams. Because if it doesn't, then you're optimizing your sales strategy around things that you can't actually deliver to your customer.
Yeah.
And that ruins your reputation. It churns through your sales and marketing budget. It kills your reputation from a domain perspective as well, because if people eventually people get ticked off. If you offer me something, I try to buy it and I can't, I'm going to mark your next email as spam.
Yeah, that's for companies that are already running. But when it
Yep.
comes to startups, it's probably one or two people running a business. So for
Yeah, the next thing is very clean, fresh threads. I love clean, fresh threads. They make shirts that make me look way skinnier and way more attractive than I actually am. And I love them. And so every June or May or June, I'll go and I'll buy more t-shirts. And then I get an email every single day. Christmas Eve, don't forget your t-shirts. I'm not buying t-shirts in the wintertime. It is 35 degrees outside. I'm not buying t-shirts, maybe the long sleeve ones. But why is my t-shirt vendor sending me an email every day? I don't want that. So if you look at my spam folder right now, every single day you get a email from Clean Fresh Threads.
yeah,
I could unsubscribe.
that's investment, and you're not
Yeah.
buying a shirt, so they should keep that money and invest it in something else.
And I tell you what, if I got an actual email, hey, I have a new line for winter wear, Clean Fresh Threads, the same fit that you love in December. Cool, I'll buy a few of those. But don't
Yeah.
hit me every day. After I just buy one, don't send me an email the next day. I haven't even gotten them yet. What are you doing? Like, timing is so important. Say the right thing to the right person at the right time with the right call to action. I'm not buying more t-shirts the day after I bought t-shirts, so get out of my face, right?
That's exactly how it works. So if we continue talking about the pillars, that comes the next one, which is the right message. After you
Yeah.
find out what is the right timing to send your message, so later you have to think, what should I say to my client? What problem am I truly solving? Why should someone care about this service or product today?
Yep.
And what is my value proposition to them? Because after you figure it out, that you can describe your service a very simple way, and they are going to be clear.
And
Probably
so many
after,
people mess this up.
yeah,
I can show you in my spam folders every single message. Hi, I do this for this company, and this company is amazing because of this and this and this. By the way, are you experiencing a problem that I can help you with? I haven't even gotten that far. No, talk to me about me. Tell me that you understand my problem and you have, if somebody was in the desert and they were thirsty and you walk out and you say, well, I have been delivering water to thirsty people for over 30 years. And my experience with water delivery is, are you thirsty? You lost me. I'm looking for water. I'm not looking for a sales pitch on water. If you come to me and say, hey, you look thirsty and I have a cup of water. I have the exact thing that you need to solve your problem. Oh, by the way, this is how you get access to it. Always put your customer first, because your customer does not care about you until after they know that you can solve a problem for them.
There's a very common mistake that they try to sell everything at once. They will explain everything in one email, every feature, every capability, everything that they can put in a simple email, they do it.
Yeah, or I'm advertising. Hey, we're another ad firm. Hey, we're another whatever. Hey, we're another. Okay, but what if you?
As well.
Yeah, and so it's just amazing how often people get that wrong. They start off by talking about themselves, and by the time they get to the point that they have something to offer, the customer has checked out. They've clicked skip on the ad. They've clicked spam on your email. Yeah, and Donald Miller wrote about this in, I know your favorite brand, your favorite book building story brand. A hero, a founder of a company, your customer is a hero. You aren't the hero in their story. You're a hero in your own story, but you're not a hero in your customer story. You are a guide. You're there to add value to them on their journey. Break it down for them so they can understand the value that you provide to them quickly. Because I have 450 messages in my spam folder. Imagine how many are in my inbox. I don't have much time. If you come to me and tell me I can solve this problem fast, or you are experiencing this problem, hook them, and then this is how you solve it. But that Mark Twain said, today I'm writing a longer email than a longer letter than normal because I don't have time to write a short one.
Mm-hmm.
Condensing that down into the right delivery and presenting it to your customer requires time, attention, and skill that most people don't have.
Yeah, I think that also a lot of founders and a lot of businesses are trying to impress the client. They're trying
Yeah.
to look like the best option, but it's more about themselves, like you said. And this is more like cooking a meal. You don't put all the ingredients at once. You're
No.
preparing something, you place something, the base, first, and then you season it. And that's the same thing. You're cooking a client. So
Yeah.
it's not like be so you have to be authentic, and for authenticity is not everything at once. You starting to get to know the client, and you have to also explain yourself little by little.
Yeah, it's not so many people. If you take sales to a relationship, they send an email with the entire relationship and a proposal and the names of their future children in the email, and they're shocked when they don't have progress from that. If you look at the sales funnel, awareness, the first step. How do people become aware that you exist and that you have a service that's valuable? And then you get into interest. How do you get them? How do you invite them from awareness? You know who I am, to start exploring your company, exploring what a relationship, exploring what being with you as a service provider would be like. Then you get a negotiation, which, hey, I have these needs, you have these services. Let's talk about the pricing looks good, the delivery mechanisms look good. Okay, let's do that. Okay, now we're in the contracted. What does the ongoing relationship look like? Every one of your marketing artifacts and every one of your outreach pillars has to be strategic in nudging the customer into the next phase in the relationship. There is no email out there that's going to start and complete and finalize and fully realize the potential of a relationship with one email. And
Yeah.
then so many people do that, and then they come back, hey, just following up. What are you talking about following up? I didn't get the first one. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, hey, I want to get your feedback on this topic that we've been talking about. I'm sorry, your sequence is messed up. I don't know what you're talking about. If I did, I would have already reached out to you before. Every email is a new opportunity to invite somebody to the next step. It doesn't build on the last one.
Yeah, the goal is not to impress the customer. The goal is that our client can understand what we're selling and what we offer in our value proposition. That's the whole goal of that. Yeah,
Yeah, and
that's why the message is so important to consider, and you have to take your time to create the message, because if you switch messages often, you will confuse the client. So that's something that you have to set it up from the very beginning, and then just run with it. You can change the message after you find out that it's not clear enough, but just because you want it, no, it's not that way.
yeah, one time this has happened. My wife sends me a text message. I'm busy. I don't respond to it right away. So a little while later, she just sends me a question mark. All right, let me go back and see what she was talking about. Okay, well, I've been married to her for 18 years. We have a relationship that supports that level of interaction. A stranger that sent me an email from the first time and went to my spam folder, I'm not going to reply to, just follow it up. I don't know what you're talking about. So very much the message and your action has to match the level that you are in the relationship. Because if you have a relationship, then you can be a lot less structured. Hey, what do you think of that profile I sent you yesterday? Bad email for somebody who sent a profile to somebody who didn't ask for it. Good email for somebody that we've been staffing for 6 years and have an established relationship with and are just looking for some follow-up. There's the timing and the call to action has to very much be aligned with where you are in your relationship.
Yeah. And that there, right there, is where it comes our fourth pillar, which is the right CTA and offer. In
Yeah.
very important part, it cannot be aggressive. because but if you do that, customer will not make a decision immediately. They will not trust you because you're too pushy. And like you said, it's a relationship. After they find out that you're a trusted company, that you know what you're doing, your CTA has a simple, very simple button or a sales meeting or something that they can, click on, and you will give them more info in return
Yep.
of their information.
Now, you can be aggressive sometimes. Let's say that you have something that everybody wants and nobody has. Well, you could be pretty aggressive in that case. But odds
Or
are, if you
an
had
offer.
something that everybody wants and nobody has, you wouldn't be watching this video, right?
Or it is an offer, like you
Yeah,
have just limited time to offer something, and I
sure.
guess you can be
If there's
aggressive on that,
if
but
there's
not
scarcity, yeah.
for every communication that you do.
Oh,
So the CTA also comes with the time or in what moment of that relationship you are. If you already know the client, it's, you can be more direct and say, hey, right now I have this offer for you. But if they don't know you, it's another approach. That's why marketing is not like a written in stone. You have to adapt to your client, to the season. You have to adapt.
I have a good example of this. I've used this same example before. And at some point, this staffing agency is going to talk to me about this. I'm sure of it. But I get this email from the same people every day. They send me a profile I didn't ask for, and then they send me an email chastising me for not replying with a feedback on a profile I didn't ask for. And then they send me another email, literally exact words. I know you're getting these emails. I don't know who you are. I didn't ask for that. And I certainly didn't agree to give you feedback on it. I don't have to give you anything. You're in my spam folder. What are you doing? Like now,
And they're
if I'm under contract with somebody, like for example, we have some folks where we have a contract for the staffing in their organization, and we are required to meet a certain staffing level agreement with that organization. And I send them a profile. I'll check back. Hey, I need you to tell me if you like that profile or not, because we all have contractual obligations to meet. I'm still not going to say, I know you're getting these emails, because that's just absurd. That's no way to treat any type of relationship, let alone somebody you don't have a relationship with. But if I didn't ask you for a profile, then I have no obligation to give you feedback on it. If you are under contract with me
yeah.
and I have to have your feedback to meet both of our contractual obligations, that's one thing. But that is not the situation where you're doing that.
It is funny because instead of making you interested, they're creating friction with you.
Yeah.
So instead of reducing the friction, they're actually the ones that create more pressure on you to make a decision. And it's like, I don't know you guys. Why are you so pushy, and why are you so aggressive towards me? And even that, it's something that we need to take into consideration. And for example, I said you have like thousands of emails on your inbox. You read that and then you skip it. If is
There are
another
20,664 emails in my inbox right now,
Yeah,
and
you don't need another aggressive.
339 unread junk mails, but there's actually about 300 read junk mails, and that's just from the last 30 days. Yeah, no, I mean, if you get my eyes, you get them for just a moment.
Yeah, if they treat you that way, for sure you're not a
And,
client. You're not converting.
and there's a big difference between being aggressive and assertive. So if you come to me and say, hey, AI architects are very hard to find right now.
Yeah.
I've got some really good profiles. Follow this link to check them out and tell me if you're interested in any of those. Great. Here's an AI profile. Here's a marketing profile. Here's a resume you didn't ask for. Tell me what you think. No, not great. People come to me, hey, I wrote this amazing article. Would you like me to email it to you? No, don't do that. Send me a link to where I can go and get that article. On that article, have it tuned so that it converts, so I can see very clearly I'm interested in the person behind this. Let me set up a meeting with them. But don't make me tell you what my call to action would be. Be assertive, but don't be aggressive.
Exactly. And it's like the whole point of us doing podcasts is just to be more easy to digest to our clients. How
Yeah.
can we put all this information in one email or in five emails without being so aggressive? So for us explaining and having this conversation, it's our way to give our clients and customer an easy way to digest everything what we do, what is our knowledge, what we are the what we're good at, and hopefully it's gonna work.
I thought we were doing the podcast so I could buy myself a bunch of new gadgets to play with, but
Now we know why you're being so proactive on the podcast.
yeah, let me tell you about my new Sony camera.
Send some over here.
Yeah, that'll go well. Yeah, so this is something very important. Your brand voice, which we're going to be talking with Rebecca about this, and how you engage with the community, which Valerie, our community manager, has been writing about, and the systems behind how you deliver your product to your customer, which is what Juan and Diego has been talking about.
Yeah.
All of these things matter. Your brand voice, all these things matter. And they all contribute to these 5 points that you've been presenting. And I know that you covered 4. What's number 5?
The right infrastructure.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's also very important because you can have a great product, strong message, great CTA, a great customer, but if your internal setup is not well organized, you will lose some clients and leads because
Yeah.
they will try to reach out to you, but you're not prepared
Yeah.
to have them and follow
And that
up.
can come in many levels. That could be your CRM. That could be how you're sending your email out. We had a problem. We're a tech company. We have more capabilities than any of our customers, especially on the tech side. I deployed a website that every page resolved back to the same URL. None Bing, Google, ChatGPT, none of the search engines out there were capable of crawling it, so they couldn't index it. So we had a really tuned website that couldn't be reached and couldn't be indexed. We were going to get nothing from it. And as a technical person, it took me a long time to fix it. It was a small script and it was a pain. I swear SEO is half technology and
Yeah.
half witchcraft. I actually asked ChatGPT this morning, do I have to sell my soul to the devil to get my page indexed on Google? And it's like, not quite, but a little bit, right?
And imagine, Isaac, we as a tech company find that challenging if you're not well, if you don't have the right team on your company, just this one pillar can destroy the whole strategy.
Yeah.
So, from the very beginning, the right infrastructure is so important. Most importantly, if you want to scale, you have to foresee that too. If you
Oh,
have
we've seen some. Man, we saw somebody that had a lead form on their website. They were getting leads, but the lead form was sending the lead to a email address that the lead from their own form is going to the spam folder. So people are going in there, I want to use your product, and they weren't finding out about it. And they didn't know that they could directly put that form into their CRM. So when somebody enters, hey, I'd like to do this, they get the meeting scheduled automatically. That's all done. The whole SEO thing, yeah, it was a pain in the butt. It was horrible. It took me almost an hour to fix it. Frustrating for me. It's like the example we use a lot. What is a brain surgeon called brain surgery? Routine, right? Because that's what they do. For us, the architecture, the infrastructure is how we got started in the whole GTM space to begin with. So for us, is man, the emails are going into the spam folder. All right, well, these are the 3 things that you do to fix that. Hey, our website's not getting indexed. These are the things that you do to fix that. We're not getting leads. All right, well, why? Are they not converting? Is your process too cumbersome or incomplete? These are all things that we know, and a lot of companies they just don't have that skill set.
Yeah, they don't have the right skills, the right technology, the right information, the right people to run a good infrastructure strategy. And I think that you'll have that conversation also in depth with JD. But here are some clear questions that you have to ask yourself. Is your system capable of supporting growth? Can your platform communicate between each other? Is your customer journey properly connected internally? Are you losing information between teams? Or can this work, this setup will work in a year? All of those questions we have to ask our client to find the right tech and the right, whatever it is, CRM, platforms, whatever it is, these questions are very important for efficiency.
Yep.
And more important, do not waste money on getting all these services, platforms, whatever, and then they won't work because you're not clear enough. So first sit down with your team, figure it out what is what you want, and then you build a strategy for that.
Yeah, it's. I've always said that I'm not a golden hammer person, and it used to be people walk around. How do I use Hubs? How do I use HubSpot to do this? How do I use Excel to do that? And now it's how do I use ChatGPT to do this? How do I use Rock to do that? And it's the same wrong approach with new technology, and people don't change that much, right? We evolve, and we evolve very slowly and at great amount of pain and expense. But at the end of the day, you're always going to have someone to go around. I learned this shiny thing. How do I use it to do that? And we have people using, was it Cloud? We have people using Cloud all the time. Hey, just built this website for my customer in Cloud. Great, but how are the canonical URLs presenting back to the search engine? But the host, what now? It's like, okay, well, you just built this beautiful site that can't be discovered by a search engine. Now we have to go back and fix that. Did you deploy it? Oh, I told Cloud to deploy it. All right. Well, how is your CloudFront configuration and scripts resolving back to the URL? What? No, we deployed it. We didn't get any customers. Okay. Well, now we know that we have to go in and investigate your infrastructure and investigate how you deployed this so we can fix it. Because at the end of the day, the website is a tool that's supposed to help you on your journey to get what you need. The website's not the goal.
Yeah. And it's painful for decision makers or CEO owners, you name it. It's painful when they have to change everything. And that's why there is no universal template, no secret to growth. There's no a magic tool that will help us to build the right and the perfect strategy. It's more like step by step, getting to know our client, the customer, and build something that can scale, can work in 2 or 3 years. Because let's be realistic, technology changes all the time. So whatever works for you right now might not work for you in the future, or your company grows so fast that you need to switch, element. So at the moment we jump into a company, we do a review of what they're doing, and we try to fix what is broken. And if we can keep something that they already have, let's do it, because our purpose is not to make them invest more. It's actually the opposite. I want them to be more efficient.
So I've built my first automation application in 1999. So I said exactly this statement I'm about to say right now for the first time 27 years ago. And that is, I will never automate out the need for a professional to do their job. And no matter what new technology has come along in the last 27 years, including AI, including all of the enhancements that we have, I've never seen the automation that removed the need for a professional to do their jobs. And I say this over and over again, professionals exist for a reason. I'm never going to be able to go on a GPT and say, how do I perform my own brain surgery, and then set up a robot, and okay, do it. It's never going to happen. I'm always going to need a brain surgeon. Hopefully, I don't ever need a brain surgeon. But if I do need brain surgery, I want an amazing professional doing their job. And I've never one time looked at what is the cheapest neurosurgeon. Like, that's not, I want the best. What's the cheapest way to cure my cancer? No, I want a good person. Now, it needs to be accessible. And that's what our program is all about, accessibility. It's not about cheapness, but obviously if a customer can't afford something to begin with, that moves out. And that's the whole reason for the way that we've built this go-to-market strategy. That is, we have sourced a very scalable way to give access to professionals to implement these 5 pillars of a strong GTM strategy in your business.
Well, I think that we cover all of the pillars,
Yeah.
and hopefully our clients understand the reason why we need to go over and over and over all of these important aspects of
Yeah. It's like
strategy.